Once people report scary encounters and law enforcement responds, but is unable to resolve the issue, military soldiers take over. Here are 5 instances when soldiers found really scary encounters. Starting with a report of a ghost encounter to which the soldiers were called. The Gettysburg Battlefield is a significant historical landmark from the American Civil War, and it seems to be a paradise for ghost hunters. Visitors to the location have reported a number of ghostly encounters over the years. In the case that you are not aware of the American Civil War, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania is the location of a significant fight that took place during the conflict. This battle was also a significant turning point that ultimately led to the Union's triumph over the states that were a part of the Confederacy. In addition to being the location of the bloodiest fight that took place during the American Civil War, the Gettysburg Address is also known for President Abraham Lincoln's famed speech. It is believed that around 50,000 troops lost their lives during the 3-day fight that took place in July 1863. Also, the great majority of the men who were murdered did not get a decent burial before their deaths. It is thus not unexpected to hear that there have been several accounts of paranormal activity at the location, given the violent nature of the place and the sheer number of deaths that resulted from the conflict. With all of the ghost sightings that have been claimed, the battlefield, which is now a national military park in the United States, draws a large number of dark tourists and ghost hunters. In fact, a Facebook group has been established to discuss images and experiences that have been had at the location. Furthermore, the Wheatfield site, which saw some of the most violent combat during the conflict and resulted in the deaths of 30% of the men participating, is a location that is considered to be a hotspot for ghost sightings. As a result, it should not come as a surprise that a great number of individuals have said that they have seen the spirits of soldiers still roaming about as if they were engaged in combat. A YouTuber by the name of Pulp Video, who was looking to go even farther and capture a ghost on tape, put up a covered camera to record the spot overnight. Following a thorough examination of hours worth of footage, the user posted a video that is 33 seconds long and seems to demonstrate paranormal activity. It is not obvious if someone was there at the time that the video was being filmed, although footsteps can be heard throughout the whole tape. On the other hand, the video looks to be in good condition at first inspection. Nevertheless, if you watch it many times and pay attention to the backdrop in the middle, you will see that there is a figure that looks to be moving at around 26 seconds into the video, shortly before a flash of light can be seen. There are a lot of other eerie recordings that support the claim that Wheatfield is a big haunted location, even though the verdict is still out on this one video alone. Greg Euling, who saw ghostly figures racing around the field, took a particularly disturbing video earlier this year. In the video, he sees the figures roaming around. He said, "Then we saw these shapes moving in the darkness. They were the size of humans. One of them ran right through the cannon. It was weird. It was scary. It was crazy. My uncle got so scared he rolled up the window." Next, we have a report that describes a ghost that was captured on camera. Thus, soldiers responded to it. In other words, an Irish secondary school in Cork, Ireland, which has a long history of paranormal phenomena, was successful in obtaining video proof of its resident ghost in October 2015. In a seemingly deserted corridor, CCTV footage reveals the activities of a ghost that is either furious or playful, leaving both the staff and the students shocked. The disturbing video, which shows what transpires when motion sensors are activated, seems like it belongs in a remake of Ghostbusters. It seems as if someone is arc welding at 3 a.m. because lights begin to flash from behind a door that is closed. Also, we can suddenly hear a resounding smash, and then, just in front of the camera, we see a set of massive lockers begin to violently shake back and forth. In addition, a significant amount of power is used to open one of the locker doors, causing papers and books to fly across the floor of the passageway. At the very end of the footage, a sign that reads "Wet Floor" is violently pushed down, such that it slides to the side, as if it were kicked. As a result, Aaron Wolf, the principal of the school, said that the incident occurred in the hallway outside the religion room, raising the possibility that it was a well-planned practical joke. On the other side, Aaron also said that there had been an unusual chill in that area of the 200-year-old school, an intense coldness that the female employees had been experiencing increasingly often. Next, we have a report that describes a Hawaiian demon that was captured on footage, so soldiers responded to it. A Hawaiian runner told the soldiers that she was left with genuine goosebumps when she unintentionally encountered a supposed night marker demon while competing in a strenuous 100-mile marathon in Oahu, Hawaii. The encounter was even captured on camera and was a spine-tingling experience for the runner. To this day, we still don't know what it was. Kay Borlase said to the soldiers who investigated the claimed mysterious thing, "Since she was 14 years old, the art director and designer has been a devoted runner. She specializes in ultramarathons, which are defined as any run that is longer than 26.2 miles. Furthermore, this specific event took place in January 2019, while Borlase was racing in the Herod 100-mile race. This race is a challenging 20-mile loop that takes place on the Honolulu Maka Trails on the island of Oahu. Also, participants did the circle 5 times. Therefore, the runner told the soldiers that this race was particularly brutal because of the multiple difficulties that were there. These obstacles included thick routes that are covered in muck, several river crossings, cliffs, and steep, rocky inclines. The competition was going swimmingly until Borlase suffered an injury to her foot during the second-to-last lap of the race. As a result, she was forced to withdraw from the race, which was the very first time in her ultramarathon professional career that she had ever done so. After returning home and gathering her thoughts, Cassie, who was Borlase's pace partner, emailed a number of photographs from the race to her mother and several of her friends. Almost immediately after that, Cassie sent a text message informing her about one of the moving photographs. The photograph shows a dark figure dressed in a cloak moving past Borlase while she was running. On the other hand, neither the ultramarathoner nor her running buddy could remember passing a person on that strip of trail. She said, "The reason why no one was on that part of trail is because all runners had to run in a clockwise direction." She continued, "And tourists weren't out that early. We didn't see anyone for hours while running together. So, we were, and still are, positive there was no one there." After doing some research on the place, Borlase discovered a local tradition that asserts the territory is haunted by the spirits of Hawaiian warriors who have passed away and are known as night marchers. According to Honolulu law enforcement, these rainforest revenants supposedly traveled at night to protect people so sacred that the common man was never allowed to look at them. Breaking that rule meant death. The soldiers recommend that mortals who find themselves in the path of a night marcher should strip nude and lay down on their faces in order to avoid staring at them. Additionally, Borlase thought it was fortunate that she didn't see the claimed woodland ghost until after the event had already taken place. Unfortunately, the Hawaiian people accused Borlase of spinning a yarn. Following the publication of the photographs to social media, the cross-country competitor was swarmed by haters. These online haters referred to her and Cassie as hulls, which is a local slang term for white people, and expressed their desire for her to meet a night marcher in person so that she may suffer a violent death. Next, a family claimed that a ghost had scared their dog, and soldiers responded to the scene. Thus, after a ghost terrified a dog in the early hours of the morning, a couple from England was left wondering whether their ideal house was haunted. Victoria Hepworth, who is 35 years old, was dog-sitting her sister's black Labrador, Kiwi, who is 1 year old when she made the decision to install a motion sensor security camera in the living room. This was done in order to ensure that their 4-legged house guest was safe while they were away during the night. Nevertheless, what she and her fiancé, Joe Shard, 29, witnessed the next morning shocked the couple. The camera had filmed Kiwi running about the room in an effort to get away from a towering ghost-like person who was clad in white. According to what Hepworth shared with Kennedy News and Media, it was really weird. "I wouldn't say either of us particularly believes in ghosts, but it looks like it's floating or hovering." She proceeded by saying, "It felt very odd because it made us think, what has been there?" During the time when the weird figure was floating over the doorframe, the dog was captured on tape by Hepworth's camera leaping away from it. Also, the shadow looked to have a head and shoulders that were perfectly delineated. Hepworth said, "Kiwi didn't bark in the night, but thinking back, maybe we heard whimpering. she continued. She slept most of the night in her bed, but here she's obviously running away. Even more strange is the fact that this was not the first time that a family pet has been frightened by strange activity in a house that is 135 years old. During the process of moving into the house the previous year, their little nephew and his dog had a strange response to something that the adults were unable to see. Hepworth said, "I remember on the day we moved in, my nephew, who was 2 years old at the time, and their family puppy were sitting about halfway up the stairs, and both of them burst into tears at the exact same time." She continued, "The dog started whimpering and the baby started crying. They say kids and animals pick up on things, and I thought, oh brilliant, we've got a haunted house." Since the bizarre night with Kiwi, the two have been attempting to figure out precisely what the dog camera caught, and they have also arrived at the conclusion that they should do some study on the history of their residential property. According to her explanation, "We know the property was built in 1888, and we know who lived in it. So we're trying to see who could possibly have lived here who wouldn't be very happy." This encounter was out of the blue for them, according to Hepworth, since they hadn't done any construction work or anything else that may generate a disturbance in the home. In addition, she said to the soldiers that no one else had a key. However, despite all of the creepiness, Hepworth admitted that she's not too scared, as she's always been a big fan of ghosts. The statement that she made was, "It's pretty cool more than anything else," she continued. "I've never had a bad experience, and I don't feel negatively towards the house at all." Hepworth even shared the incident on Facebook, seeking advice from other users on what they should do. One user even pondered the possibility that the terrifying figure could not be a ghost at all, but perhaps a burglar. He said, "First of all, I would check your Ring doorbell to see if this figure has been seen walking along the street or trying to get into all the houses." The user continued, "It's reflecting a shadow off the wall, which I didn't think ghosts or spirits do. So my guess is you were burgled." Some people, on the other hand, attributed it to paranormal encounters. Amazing pic and creepy at the same time. One person wrote, "It looks like the figure is walking away, and since it's on a different plane of existence, it makes it appear very tall or floating." Next, we have a report of a ghostly figure that, when viewing the surveillance tape, even frightened the soldiers. A mother of 4 who lives in Pennsylvania was so frightened by a ghostly being that appeared on her security camera that she was unable to sleep. As a result, her family has explored the possibility of transferring to a different residence. "I couldn't get back to sleep. I laid there and turned on the TV because I was scared," Amanda Pitt, who is 34 years old, said to the soldiers. She continued, "I kept going back to the camera, but I couldn't see it anymore. So I thought maybe I was seeing things. The next morning, I didn't even know what to make of it." On the morning of October 21, 2022, around 3:40 am, Pitt was awakened by the sound of heavy footsteps in her residence. When she glanced at the security camera, she saw what seemed to be a ghostly person standing at the doorway of her kitchen. She told the soldiers, "I made sure Jeffrey was still in bed because I thought it could be him." Pitt continued, "I checked on the camera and stared at it for a little bit because I thought I saw somebody." She awoke her husband, Jeffrey, and sent him downstairs to meet the intruder. However, when he went downstairs, he discovered that there was no one in the house and that there was no evidence of a break-in. In addition, Ollie, the dog who belonged to the family, was walking around the kitchen. When Pitt saw what she saw, she was so rattled that she was unable to go back to sleep. In spite of the fact that she had taken a screenshot of the ghost, she proceeded to examine the camera. Furthermore, the family has had a number of unusual incidents, including this one, which has led them to contemplate relocating. "Things have happened here before," Pitt told the soldiers. "The people who lived here before didn't live here for very long, but we never found out why." With the family moving into the house in the year 2020, Pitt has been receiving alerts on her phone from the security feed consistently, even when there is no one present in the house. According to her, the family also often reports hearing unusual sounds in the vicinity of the residence. The first really strange incident happened while the family was on vacation, and the security camera caught a door in the house opening by itself. "I've never been a ghost believer, but we've had things happen that make us question it," Pitt told the soldiers. "That picture is terrifying. Thinking there's something like that in your house, you question everything." She continued, When we first moved in, nothing happened. It wasn't until we'd been living here for almost a full year and something would happen, and we would say it was nothing. She added, "We're confused. We just question everything when we hear stuff now. It's not so much living in fear, it's just questioning everything." For more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like this video. Comment below which case you find the most terrifying. And don't forget to press the bell icon for future notifications.